Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft tour. I'm always suspiciously excited to introduce to you the player in the top right, the blue, the Zerg player, the 2019 World Champion. In my not so humble opinion, the most entertaining player in the game right now. It's the final boss. It's Dark. But a more recent World Champion, the perpetual underdog, except for that one fateful day of upsets where he became the top dog. It's the normal man. It's Oliveira, his teammate. But right now, his enemy. A best of 3 TVZ. And speaking of upsets, we'll see who leaves more upset after this one. Oliveira and Dark have gone toe-to-toe. I think Oliveira actually has the winning record recently. The new patch served him pretty well. Whereas Dark has kind of been rewriting the book on Zerg versus Terran, assuming, and this is a big assumption, he can read. So, but I'm going to ask you to read one thing. It's an emoji. It's the thumbs up button. It means like. And if you haven't yet, be awesome if you could like. And if you haven't made it there, subscribe. But that's a bit more literacy required. But Jimmy, what are we... what? 1,000. We're upping it. Yes, one more every day. Been about half a year now since we started. And I do appreciate it. It's worked out. I don't know how much it helps, but it makes my day a little bit better. So, if we could get 1,180 likes on this video, on this cast, on this World Champion battle, that'd be awesome. And I'll cast another series. And I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully these two are about to make it a little bit better. From the Kung Fu Cup, the World Team League, putting on so many great events. I literally sometimes can't keep track of them, but somehow produces such incredible games. Dark starting things off with roaches. Oliveira not going for the reactor clones, not going for the Threeper build that, in my opinion, is kind of played out at this stage. But instead, falling back to the 1-1-1, the Destiny Cloud Fist build I've heard in the distant, almost unknowable past. But just a barracks, a factory, and a starport, and against all but the most committed all-ins, gives you options to defend and potentially put some pressure on the Zerg. Keep the creep spread down, make the queens a little uncomfortable. If you're lucky, maybe get a drone or two. Sometimes players will dart by with the Hellions or dive in with the Banshee, and indeed it's a Banshee. But for the most part, it's about keeping control of the map, keeping control of the creep spread, keeping vision on whatever could be coming out the Zerg base, and doing what you can to kind of steer the game in your direction as time goes on. But Dark is not one who will be steered easily. He's more of a top-of-the-hood driver rather than sitting in the back seat. And that's why we got 8 roaches already on the way out, a lair. 8 roaches, that middle ground number, not all in, certainly not, but still quite a commitment. The Banshee should be... I don't think the Banshee's going to force the roaches to turn around. And, in fact, is there a Banshee out already? Yeah, there. Where's it going? Oh, just finished. He did go for a Viking first, take down the Overlords. Oliveira going to try to buy some time. The Banshee and that many Hellions does force a turnaround, but Dark is essentially using these as a literal meat shield in order to cover for a bunch more drones. The Banshee does solid damage, but the roaches can easily turn and pick off a couple Hellions if they stray too far. And the quick, get off my... The Queen's upset about the general situation. Always upset at any flying unit, ever since the accident. A lot of people don't know about we haven't talked about it in quite a while. The accident at the end of the Brood War, where an engineering bay and a queen, back in the day when they could fly, collided. And it was so traumatizing. From this day forward, neither the engineering bay nor the queen are able to fly years later. And they don't like it when you bring it up. In fact, bringing things up at all is a sore point in general. Are you speaking of the engineering bay? Like a sentient creature? Yes, maybe. And if it was a sentient creature, I'd ask, why is it that we get infantry weapons from the engineering bay and mech weapons from the armory? Nobody likes a smart-ass swan. Moving on, the Banshee's not able to get too much done. Dark with an awkward amount of drones, clearly hotkeyed in as he goes for the fourth, but so far a relatively passive game as the skirmishes between the Banshees, the Roaches, the Hellions, and the Queens have resulted in neither side really being able to make much progress with more than enough to defend. It is going to be a mass Roach play for now, but the Baneling Nest and melee attack are on the way for Dark, which means plenty of opportunity to follow up the more mass production style. Nice little wall off there. Oliveira actually has some of the best, cleanest Terran versus Zerg late game. Up there with Clem, who, if you didn't see, what, in my opinion, is the game of the year. Actual, unironic, full clickbait, but legit bait, as I've heard it called, and I keep saying I'll never say again. It's like clickbait, but it is what it says it is. So, yes, click on it, but also enjoy it for the... You got... Stop talking. But Clem versus Dark on this map, becoming one of the most epic back and forth late game, like mid to late game, constant action for 20 minutes straight. This game has been much more passive to start things off. But Oliveira, I'd put in the same camp as Clem when he's not being hyper-aggressive. Just able to think a couple steps ahead and set up attacks that require setup. You can't just kind of stim in onto the creep and trust your medevacs to get you out if you make a mistake. We can't all be beyond. There's only one of us there. And right now, here we go, Oliveira with a solid attack timing. He only has 1-1. Dark has a whole bunch in the mail yet to be delivered. He doesn't have 2-2 adrenal glands. He's just got banelings. Here's Oliveira on the creep. But he has more than enough to rip his way through the front line, but the Queens have now joined the fray. I don't think there's enough here to deal with this right now. Gets great target fire onto the banelings. But at the end of the day, yeah, the Roach Ravager alongside the Queens. What do we got? Banshees are working on another hatchery, but Dark already has a hive. He's breaking through the Valley of Rocks here. It looks like the Banshees are actually going to take out the hatchery. Remember, they can cloak as the Queens come down just to make sure they get it. Small wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Dark with the transfuses, but the Spore Crawler is not quite in position. The Overseers are there. The Banshees are going to pick it off just barely in time. Meanwhile, Dark Buddy on the opposite side of the map goes through the valley he just opened up, knocking out the rocks, at least half of them. Adrenal Gland's about to complete, though, 2-2 much quicker. Oliveira was relying on hitting a sharp 1-1 timing, and Dark swept it from the field. But a follow-up is still plausible here, and Oliveira did not cut his production. He did not cut his economy. He has 4 bases, he's got 8 racks, and he's got 2 factories going on 3. So, that means he is fully capable of continuing this. Yes, Dark will have a slight upgrade advantage, but the only hive tech he has are Vipers and Adrenal Glands, which, that's quite a lot of hive tech, to be honest, but it comes down to the Viper usage here. Whether or not Dark is able to crush these armies, or they start winning quite a dramatic war of attrition. Finally, somebody does this with this choke point here on Alkione. Oh, the Queens. A Liberator to distract. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. Saw Dark using some Ultralisk Burrow against Beyond the other day. It mostly looked like it was to troll him with the slight buff to Ultralisk Burrow speed, but who knows? Is there Burrow? There is no Burrow, but there are 100 Zerglings. Of course there are. +3 starts. Oliveira's going to be finishing up his 2-2. Right now, Oliveira's just trying to keep him busy. Keep him going left, right, anywhere but right down the center, hitting his economy. Because he knows he's got to get that 2-2 done. He's got to max out if possible. Drilling Claws on the way. A lot of stuff is coming together right now for Oliveira. But it is seconds away from completion. Its seconds can matter when the blinding clouds are on the siege tanks already. The back line is mostly negated by them, but a whole bunch of Marines just stim up and gun down the Banelings. And now the Ravagers find themselves getting outflanked by a few dozen Marines. Dark supply absolutely plummets, as he was all ready to deal with the tanks, but the Marines themselves are more than enough. Dark goes down to 137 versus 176. A disastrous fight. An Ultralisk is on the way. There is no Ghost Academy. Oliveira realizes that at that exact moment because that was a clear and decisive victory for the Chinese Terran. But at the end of the day, he still has to close it out. He has to come across the map and try to capitalize on that victory. And Dark is not going to let that happen easily. Vehicle weapons, level 1 about to complete. 4 Ultralisks on the way. And without too many Marauders. There's 10 Marauders in the mix, 5 siege tanks. He cleared out some of them. How many tanks have gone down? 9 tanks. Ghosts being added in. But overall, Dark seems to have stabilized just fine. Drop headed down to the right flank. Ultras are spotted. Another drop. Well, that same drop. Still drawing some attention, but this little causeway here is cause for a lot of strife for the Zerg trying to fit through there. Oliveira hitting left and right simultaneously. Dark gonna send a counterattack up the center. Melee attack level 3 completed. The Queens are down here. They're not gonna last too long against the combined firepower, but Oliveira not sieged up. Some valuable units stuck back at home. The Widow Mines might take out a big chunk of the Zerglings, but the Ultras are gonna turn things sideways, upside down, and then chew them apart. He doesn't have any detection for the mines. The Bio Army is stimming back to defend. 22 SCVs, 25 SCVs, 30 SCVs. I'm very good at reading the counter. Ultra speed about to complete. He stimmed himself half to death, the Ultras say. Let's finish the job. Oliveira actually taking way more damage than he needed to. Hitting the stim button a couple times over, and Dark. He saw the opening and went straight for it. And he manages to get terrible damage done to Oliveira. Where it looked like Oliveira had a great setup, Dark is able to shred it with the Ultras. God, that overstim. The clearest sign of panic. 1 Ultra slice away from death for all those Marines and Marauders. And Dark holds on to most of his economy. He lost a couple hatcheries, but he's now building 6 Vipers, which is actually a bit much. But I'm sure he knows he needs them out there. He's going to try to make sure he doesn't have any issues with them. The ghost count was, I believe, almost entirely reset. Well, we only lost 2 of them. So Oliveira, just like with Dark on the other side where he was down 30-40 supply, Dark is not in a position to just end the game quite yet. He needs to knock out either work on the economy or go for the production. But at this stage, I think Oliveira is going to be very careful about not getting caught on the map again. So the most likely option is going to be going straight for, or going for the outlying bases, wherever the army is not. Wow, 6 Vipers all over the place in the main here. Widow Mines outside the front. Dark is taking the gold base, which extra boost to the economy at this relatively advanced stage of the game. Dark now has a significant income advantage. Over 1,000 more minerals a minute. You know how many Zerglings you can make with that? Yes. Is that 200? 50, 10, 400. No, 40. You know what? Now, don't put me on the spot like that.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
94 per 100 times 10, it's 40. Wow, sounded like, I don't know, 400 Zerg. Oh my god, he might need him. That Widowmine gets 13 kills. Not enough detection. There's only 2 Overseers. More mines. That one gets a Viper. Where are the EMPs? He lets the Vipers all cast. In fact, honestly, too many Vipers. Ends up losing them all and trying to make them all worth something. Gets a few parasitic bombs, but that was an incredibly wasteful fight there for Dark. He ends up losing... Whoop, make that 4K 2,400 to 1,300, 500 in that last fight. Well, the Baneling's going to try to turn that around. Goes straight... Whoa, dangerously close to not getting it, but 21 more FCVs down. That means Oliveira's army is massive right now. Larger than Dark could even build with this many drones. 50 more banelings in production. But is it going to be enough to break this amount of Terran? Oliveira, I guess he's going straight up for the base trade, and this is an almost impossible army to beat, at least with one wave of units. Banelings crash in, kill a bunch of ghosts and some marauders. But Dark's production is kind of strung out at the moment. He's gonna need even more banelings. He's nearly out of larvae. A few widow mines out there, just drags him out, runs the Zerglings by for it. This army just set up. Oh, he doesn't have detection. The mines, well, he just runs past him. He does have spore crawlers. The spore actually the real hero here. Gets a liberator, gets a couple Vikings. The widow mines, well, needs to move that spore up to deal with the mines. Oh no, they're gonna recharge. There are burrowedlings over here, but they don't shoot missiles, unfortunately. The mines continuing to add up the damage. They're all over the place right now. The burrowed Zerglings are annoying, but... Oh! Finally moved the spore up. This is only real detection. But it has bought a lot of time here for Oliveira to rebuild. He's actually back to 48 SCVs. He's bounced back so well. Give him a little space. And he really takes advantage of it. The snipes line up on the queens. Picks up. Handles it. And Oliveira is still kicking here, as Dark unable to get a killing blow. Though Corruptors will meet the medevacs. The medevacs won't be long for the rest of this world. The Ghost taken out. Does he not have Ghost? He does have Ghostquake, but it's not going to matter too much over here. Oliveira takes advantage of this. Hits the left side. The burrowed Zerglings are still blocking the natural. What a mess. Still a medevac in the main, somehow. Oh, another massive connection. That Widow Mine has 57 kills! Alright. Surely it costs several hundred I would put that on the thumbnail if I didn't hate myself for doing it. So it probably won't make it, but just remember. Remember, the 6th of November. Or whenever this is released. Oh my. Well, Dark struggling with the Minesweeper game, right? Oh no. As Oliveira has carved out a lot of space. 556 Zerglings dead. 1/10 of them to a single mine. Well, the burrowedlings are still scouting for Dark. He's got infestors on the way. He's had decent map control, but his income lead has evaporated. As Oliveira has whittled down his bases. Oh my god, the planetary fortress slaughters the changelings. The lings will burrow yet again. There's only 3 orbitals on the field, so he can't just be scanning left, right, and center. Has to be a bit more stingy, as he hasn't been able to get that overwhelming late game economy. Oliveira's struggling to max out. So is Dark here. This is not a high economy game. More gets cleared out in the center. Gold Bay is coming up again. Dark should lift it. Unfortunately. Is it? Oh, another Widow Mine drop. Zerglings. In the natural. As Dark. Well, currently there are 10 mines on the field. Anyone to guess where exactly? He's able to clear them out. The counterattack. The Marines stim into the extraneous base here. Will be slaughtered. The production is under attack. Tries to dodge out. There's still 1 mine in the main. A couple more scrambling back to defend. Oliveira is actually awkwardly supply blocked here. Manages to burrow again. Spore crawlers coming back to deal with this. This is a bit of an odd fight. There's burrowed Zerglings everywhere. Of course, there's burrowed Widow Mines almost as commonly placed. Dark has somewhere around 25-ish Zerglings around the main and the natural. But at some point, he has to deal with Oliveira's army, which is becoming increasingly difficult yet again. He has 100 Zerglings on the field. One heroic Ultralisk. And it has to act like a bit of a hero unit. Oliveira, oh, come on with that. Well, is he floating it over, or is he just going to build one here? Looks like he does have a command center headed over. And now Dark, he has to deal with this army, but if he wasn't able to do it before, it's looking like a tough order now. The Zerglings getting caught. How many Vipers? Just 2 Vipers on the field, a more reasonable number. Zerglings still taking apart whatever they can get their claws on. But are we actually just going to split the map in half, but just rotate it a bit? Kind of looks like it at this stage. The creep spread is all over the place. Oliveira, oh, we don't mind. Finds a connection. The main base still vulnerable. The Overseer's looking for an opportunity. He has 9 Overseers now. 116 Zerglings for Dark. Going in towards the main, but the main army for Oliveira here. He gets a Viper. He's on creep. Oliveira smells blood on the creep, and he's not sure if it's his own, but he's gonna gamble that it isn't. A bunch of the Zerglings are headed back. The Overseer's with them. The Widowmines are not here to cover. You're on your own, Marines and Marauders, but he finds the disgusting choke point in the middle of the map. Guns down a dozen Zerglings. Infestors chased back. And Oliveira, he's really, I gotta say, using all his tools here. As disgusting as some of those tools can be, Oliveira, and that's why I mentioned Clem in the same kind of category, where when he's using everything he has, feels so difficult. Like, there were so many points where Oliveira was maybe one bad fight away from crumbling. But he holds it together, he comes back and holds on to his main, and now Dark is down. 140 supply, 133. Planetary Fortress targets down some more Banes. Wait, that's Dark side of the map, by the way. And he just taps it out. A pretty technical knockout, but a knockout nonetheless. Oliveira just eventually starves out Dark and holds on to take game 1. Dark gonna have to go back to the spawning pool and figure out some more options there. It felt like the Ultras might be the opportunity, but at the end of the day, they die like anything else when faced against that Terran army. Kind of surprised we didn't. Well, I think if it went a little longer and a little higher economy, we might see Broodlords to deal with those minefields. But Dark never quite held on to the economy for it. And that's why at the end of the day, Oliveira takes game 1. Game 2 going to hard lead. Just another barracks. Honestly, like I said, at early on in the last match, I think the 3 Rags Reaper build has mostly played itself out. It is no longer occasionally a little map dependent, a little player dependent, but if you let the Zerg adapt to it, and so many players, I'm mostly at this point giving a wag of the finger to Gumiho in the recent GSL finals, with the Reaper into Marine being incredibly predictable. Even if it can be strong, the more time you give Zergs to adapt, especially to a strategy that has such clear counters like that, the better they're gonna do each time. That's the whole point of Zerg. And players like Dark and Solar and Cyril embody that so well. But Oliveira kind of kept Dark a little off balance with the Banshees there. Even though the Banshees didn't do much, just their existence threw Dark a little off with the early roaches. They ended up killing a hatchery by the end, just as a tool he had alive. He used everything in the box. as much as I like complaining with the rest of them, Oliveira is definitely a resourceful player. I think you gotta be against, unless you have the sheer, just pure micro of someone like Clown, or the dogged persistence of Akir. Oliveira is kind of all-purpose Terran. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go mech. Probably prefers bio, as most Terrans do. But if he's got a tool in the box, he might bring it out eventually. Starport on the way. It'll be 4/3 command center, so the safer version of a 3cc. Means he... Wait, no 3cc? He's gonna get a third, right? He might drop it at the natural. Oh yeah. Just playing it real safe. Instead of going 3cc into Starport and Factory, instead... Well, really thought we would see it soon. Instead, getting the 1/1/1. Dark again is going to attempt roaches. And I think we're just going to see Banshees. Now, again, the roaches were not all in last game, nor will they be this time, as you see 8, 9 more drones just finishing up, starting to complete now. So Dark going to be in a similar position. We're going to play it out very similar. And Hard Lead is definitely a map where you can lock down the Terran bases. Of course, at the same time, there aren't that many bases to lock down. So, oh, he just dives by. Now this is, even if he kills, well, it's a numbers game. 5 drones is not worth it. I think that's Oliver being like, yeah, I didn't dive in last time, but this time, I'm gonna go for it. Now, in my opinion, unless you get double-digit drones, and even then. So, a drone dead right now is good, but there's no map control. The creep spread will grow every direction. Sure, the Banshees may be able to, or another couple Hellions might be able to tamp it down. But Dark, did you see as soon as he killed those Hellions, a dozen more drones in production? He's got the lair on the way. The Hellion's gonna come in again. He might be able to get a couple more drones. We'll see. A mostly undefended main, but a roach comes out. One more. Yeah. Oliveira just kind of YOLOing it, which is, you know, something every once in a while. It's a big gamble. If they don't have any Zerglings or their queens are out of position, maybe you rack up a dozen kills. You know, this actually works out. He's just eating the kills. Wow. Okay, so Dark just didn't have a spore crawler. He was busy dealing with that. I don't think that was I don't think he intentionally had a mediocre Hellion run by, so that way Dark wouldn't build a spore against his Banshee. But Dark did get caught so off guard by the Hellions, and the fact that he did such a kind of mediocre run by. He didn't end up building the spore crawler on time at the natural. And that's a lot of kills. That's worth... Well, he didn't even lose the Banshee, so now it's worth it. All right, it can be good and bad simultaneously. Not everything is black or white. There are shades of gray. 50 or more of them, I've heard. But at the end of the day, yeah, the Banshees are killing it. And by it, I mean a lot of drones. Yeah, that's... does he get one? No. Gets out of there. Perfect Banshee control here. Dark's still just droning behind it. But this hurts. This is gonna slow him down. Dark has decided he's just going road gravity. He's just continuing down this road. He's gonna do a Dark Smash. Which I've taken to dramatically calling when Dark just decides he's gonna go 200 supply of Roach Ravager. It usually doesn't work. But it looks very dramatic. Just the sheer amount. He's already got full 4 base, or 3 base saturation. That's 68 rounds. Adding one more for flavor. But Oliveira, this is also a build that has kill potential. You get a little out of position, even with the Banshees here. It very well could be a deadly smash. He's getting an infestation pit, which leads me to believe that Dark is not as interested in going for that big armor. As well as the melee or metabolic boost, Zergling speed. Oh, there we go. More roaches on the way. He's still leaning on them. But he's not cutting drones and he's not cutting tech, so he's keeping his options open. And with no combat shield, easily going to hunt down some of those Marines as they try to clear up some of the creep. The Banshee's just hanging out at home. He knows the threat of the Dark Smash. 9 Ravagers on the way. Oliveira keeping the supply up pretty solid here. It's obviously going to pale in comparison to mass roaches. Some of the least supply efficient, so a bit misleading when you see them maxed out at 200, but quantity has a quality all its own. Oh, hey boys! In the pipe 5x5, am I right? Am I right? Am I right? What's up with that dude? Why doesn't he have a combat shield? Wait a second. Well, Dark sees the makeup of the base. 6 more kills from the Banshees. From one Banshee, rather. Hive is on the way for Dark. Is there a Baneling nest? There is not. The Dark, 197 supply. Yeah, if you look at the army value, Dark 4,600, 1,600 right now. Oliveira 4,412. So clearly Dark a little bit more, but it doesn't really reflect the situation very well. That is a lot. But the siege tanks aren't quite siege. Dark will take full advantage. Guns down. Half the siege tanks are dead already. The rest are vulnerable. And Dark is bringing the Ravager hammer down on this army. He's already thinned out the vast majority, but the Queens deal with the Banshees. And Oliveira tried to stand his ground, and it melted underneath his feet. The Ravagers pound their way through. The creep spread will continue as the Queens are here to support. And while he might not be able to win outright this moment, he's going to batter down even a double supply depot there. Infantry weapons, level 2 not done. The Hive is already complete. I believe Oliveira just scanned for it as well. Did he indeed? He did. He knows there's a Hive. He knows Dark isn't all in, which can't feel great right now. As if he was, at least Oliveira could say, all I need to do is live. No! You need to do more! You need to do something with your life. Maybe not send out 4 medevacs full of Marines, but that is indeed something. I may have spoken hastily. Alright, well, there he goes. We'll see. As Dark comes in, there's 40 supply in medevacs right now, as Dark is going to quickly realize the defenses are rather thin. +2 Carapace is done. The Zerglings drawing tank fire here. The 40 Marines in the main as we go into a hectic base trade. The Ultraless Cavern is about to complete, but Dark has smashed through. Down goes a couple dozen SCVs. 40 Marines with 4 medevacs, give or take here. As Oliveira, this is it. This is his army. The production will be camped by the Roach Ravager. Can Dark put together? He's building 1 Ultralisk. And he's gonna try to hold. This is doing a surprising amount, as Dark does not have, is a bit disjointed. That 1 Ultra may end up being very important. Dark's production getting camped almost as hard as Oliveira's here. Down goes the factory itself. Where is that Ultra producing? It's at the natural. How many Queens are left? 0. That's not very many. Parasitic Bomb on the medevacs on another set. I'm gonna try to whittle it down. Dark can come back. Oliveira is bleeding out. His orbitals are lefted. He's on the run. That last Ultra doesn't have chitinous plating. He's gonna do what he can. Just the existence of it. Gonna be gunned down by the Marines. Not nearly enough. But the medevacs are running out of energy. They've done so much damage. The main base has been gutted. This is way closer than it has any right to be. But another Ultra is in production. Dark still has more than enough army to break through the barracks. There are no add-ons left. He's trying to scramble together a few more Marines. He's gonna try to come back and defend. Dark is down to 28 drones. He's consuming an Evo chamber that's bleeding out. More barracks will be crushed. The medevacs will unload and somehow we'll have a couple moments. Oh, it's a planetary. But this one seems like a tall order. Indeed. The orbital's on the run. A scan spots the Ultra, but does he know? He's trying to build some Marauders here. He didn't actually get concussive shells before. Well, I don't know if he had any Marauders. He only lost 2 in this game, so. The main base, a single roach! The orbital burns! Oh my, how does it come to this? Another barracks, the production being whittled down. Oliveira trying to hold it together. The scattered shotgun blasts. The spray and pray of the corrosive biles. Trying to keep him on the run there. A single roach, slowing things down. Oliveira, he still has several orbitals. There's still a dream that the mules can bring this back. In fact, Oliveira has more income right now. He's actually ahead by 800 minerals per minute. Of course, it depends on the big mule returns there. As Dark scrapped out, or he scratched out another dozen drones or so. He's at 41. The Ultraless Cavern is still intact, but it's bleeding out. A single medevac. I can't believe this. Are we still going? The planetary burns. This SCV has to be going to repair, right? The Viper is taken out. Is the parasitic bomb enough? Oh my god, he ran. No, he miscalculated. It's a disaster. The Marines are like, are you sure? Hop in. And down goes 10 supply. Oliveira, I think, kind of looking to see if he has even a dream here. The SCVs are misrallied. I thought he was scouting, but no. There's an infestor. Getting that Viper was pretty big. A medevac, a strong gust of wind would blow it away. There's just not that much left. 20 Marines and 2 Marauders. Dark. Oliver making him fight tooth and claw for it, but there was just not enough again. He sends most of his Marines across the map in a couple medevacs. And a much smaller and sadder version of the exact same thing may repeat itself as the drones are forced to run. But an infestor's about to pop out, more corrosive biles, a surprising amount of damage is still being done here. But Oliveira, he stims. He's gonna try to fight the roaches, but the drones are getting involved. And even a fungal on the medevac. Oliveira refuses to die, but the supply, look at it. Another orbital, as Dark will smash each one and eventually claim victory. GG. Dark strikes back, but Oliveira certainly doesn't make it easy. Wow, what a series. My God. Exhausting. Oliveira, I think he had a chance. That was not bad-mannered. That was not trolling. I think right up until that medevac went down to the Viper. Like, if he had gotten that Viper and gotten the medevac out, there was still a chance that Oliveira's backstabs would be enough to hold it together. But again, a crazy base trade, but this time, it heads towards Dark. And that is going to tie us up at 1-1, which makes it all the more dramatic when Dark goes for a spawning pool first in Game 3. This decider match. It's been a great one. I hope you've enjoyed. Once again, I will beseech you for likes and subscribes. Or even ring the bell. Now, I don't know if ringing the bell does anything. And also, since we pretty much have a series every day, the notifications seem maybe a bit redundant, but if it's not too annoying. It's not going to be an early gas. Out of Dark, but instead... God. I can't believe Oliveira got that close. I mean, it was an incredibly risky move, but it almost paid off. That was a real... You know, that was consistent thematically with the theme of the game. For a game where he started by running by with his Hellions, sending most of his Marines and medevacs to the other side while under threat of a roach attack. You know, that fits. That's in character for whoever Oliveira was that game. Game 1, he was the most pragmatic, defensive, like, tenacious player. Game 2, YOLO. Fly everything around, buildings, medevacs, banshees, whatever. What does Game 3 have for us? Well, it has 6 Zerglings. At the natural. Knock, knock. The Marine actually gets killed right off. And the SCV killed as well. Quite troublesome here. Dark Zerglings getting an uncomfortable amount of damage done. This was never meant to be a deadly timing, but getting an SCV, the Marine, denying the expansion for a while, this is about best case scenario. I mean, look at the minimap. Doc has a third hatchery about to complete. He went with the gasless. These Zerglings have bought time and space. Alright, and it's going to be a Cyclone to start for Oliveira. I think just that Cyclone is mostly, is it a Roach all-in follow-up? He's going to see the third. He cancels the Cyclone immediately. So, indeed it was a safety clone. Alright, never leave home without it. Except when your opponent is going for 3 hatch, in which case, you know what? If your opponent's going for 3 hatch, why not build 2? He realizes he has the time. Oh, he body blocks out the drone, but Dark adapts immediately. Just slides into the Spore Crawler there. Double clones. Dark has crushed Oliveira's Cyclone plays before, but this is not mass Cyclone. There's 2 engineering bays behind the Quadroclone opener. What does he got up there? How does he have high ground vision? No, he doesn't. Here comes the barracks, though. Dun, 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 dun. Cyclone's very angry. Even the Reaper wants to get in on the action. Pop the Overlord. That's a lot of clones. He's gonna go with 4 to start. Oh, I thought it was 6. But of course, numbers, as we've already established, not my strong suit. Lair, relatively early here. Dark has not built any spores. I think realizing that Cyclones mean likely no dangerous starport units, especially not Cloak Banshees, as they are more gas heavy than Hellions, aka they can't cost any gas at all. He's actually trying to control both sides simultaneously with the clones here. Try to keep control of the creep spread. And behind it, 1-1 already with Stim. And I assume behind that's going to be Combat Shield. Oliveira kind of doing what Dark did with the Zerglings and using the clones just to poke and prod and keep them busy. Armory at the front. Full-on macro here after that initial shenanigans. 5 racks completed. Add-ons slapped on. As Oliveira has his 3rd base up. We got the infestation bit right off the bat for Dark. Hydralist. Hi. Drill it. No. Looking like lurkers. Which we haven't seen at all. Ultralist twice for Dark. we now have 2-2 on the way. God, the upgrades are so fast for Oliveira. Especially considering everything else. Lurker done. It's going to be a lurker rush, though, for Dark. Just straight up rush. One of the quickest hive tech lurkers. Not quite as quick as you could see a hive, which is around 7.5 minutes. But it's going to be damn close. We'll see how many hydras he pops out beforehand. It is going to be up against a pretty heavy amount of siege tanks. Gonna have 3 or 4, but we will see. Honestly, I don't know how this shakes out. Both players looking for heavy, heavy tech to start off. Oliveira gonna set up that just amazing marine tank timing. And Dark rushing to the lurkers, which on paper doesn't do great against a tank timing, but it really depends. If Dark is able to get lurker range and catch Oliveira off guard, especially if he gets any Vipers, well, he could just shred the entire army. He's starting off with 3 lurkers. God. He's going to have lurker range before 10 minutes, which sounds pretty long, but that's immensely fast. Just a weird descriptor, but Oliveira, though, is about to finish 2-2. He's got plenty of medevacs. I see no reason he doesn't set up to move out with that 2-2 done, especially because he knows he's kind of let Dark sit back and relax. Viper's on the way. Yeah, with the next set of medevacs, Oliveira should be moving out. Static defenses everywhere. Dodge is back. Did Oliveira see the hive yet? No, he hasn't seen the main base at all. Is it even there? You get into it. Alright, the Vipers should be out. They are. I'm sure they're gathering energy. Lurker range is done. Are the first lurkers revealed? Indeed they are. It is currently 3 tanks against 5 lurkers. The tanks, of course, do outrange the lurkers, but not by much once that range upgrade is finished. Oliveira forced to kind of turn around a bit. He's going to yank some tanks in the lurker range. Easily shred. Just 1 remains. That won't be enough to force Dark to leave this position. Throws out the corrosive biles. Actually repositions the tank. I'm sure an abduct will be coming soon. Is he gonna go? Are you insane? He goes! A huge concave. Blinding cloud boxes out one side. Oh. Well, it looked pretty rough to start, but Oliveira, it wasn't good, but it wasn't a total rout. And that's kind of what you gotta do against the lurkers. Well, Dark shreds 50 Marines, gets 4 tanks over the last minute. He loses very little of meaning himself. He lost only 1 lurker and a Viper. But there's no ghosts here for Oliveira. The lurkers will hold. Lurkers are designed to eviscerate Marine Marauder. And with a few Vipers in support. Dark loses 1 lurker, but there's so many on the field! Yeah, with some lurkers back at home. Adaptive Talon's now done. That quick burrow. And the 4th base is on location. He almost could delay it here. It will finish. Very importantly, he's probably going to have to lift it immediately. He yanks the tank in. The Viper still has enough energy for a blinding cloud. I don't know what happened to those 2 other medevacs. I think he brought them home. Dark is looking a little thin on the lurkers here, but he doesn't have any ghosts to contend with. So as long as he can cover, that is a beautiful concave for Oliveira. The Viper doesn't actually have anything. Well, the lurker's doing exactly what they were designed to do. Slicing up the bio here. The ghosts aren't quite done yet. Another lurker to the north side. Only killing the turret for now. But more lurkers are diving in. He's got to see the ghosts, right? He's in range of the tank. Another lurker going to be dealt with. But Dark, Oliveira can't make any more mistakes. He's fought some incredibly costly battles. But he has yet to lose the war. But Dark is just crisscrossing him right now with the lurker spines. 5 more lurkers on the way. Oliveira can't even get out of his own base without getting cross-hatched by these lurkers. The snipes come through. Another lurker harassing the SCVs. Dark won't stop. 3-3 is about to finish for the Bio Army. A pretty huge deal, including for the Ghost with armor. But, well, needs detection. He's a great split there against the lurkers, but what else is there to be done? There's a turret at the front which will help him line up some snipes. But Dark is closing in, yanks in a Ghost. EMP nowhere to be seen, gets a couple Vipers. That's something. Parasitic Bomb on the Medivacs. The Ghost count is starting to grow. And with it, well, the entire Zerg army gets gunned down. The lurkers are still going to work. A couple more lurkers moving up. This is an orbital. Dark is being remarkably cost efficient now, though. He's trying to fight with increasingly sparse amounts of lurkers. Well, he gets a couple more ghosts there. I think he was in detection range. Another lurker, but there's always another lurker. Oliveira still has 75. Oh my god. There's still 75 SCVs. How many orbitals? You know what? The orbital on the other side is probably a good idea just to have scans. There's always another lurker. Oh my god. This is revenge for the Whittle Mines in Game 1. Of course, lurkers are significantly more expensive than Whittle Mines. Dark... Meanwhile, we haven't looked on the other side of the map for a while. There's not been much to see besides Dark taking everything. He's at 88 drones. He's taken the bottom left, the gold base here. But Oliveira is not dead, and he has 15 ghosts, which is incredibly spooky as a Zerg player to deal with. Has Dark overdone it with the lurkers? Well, he has a lot of ground to give. There's a Nidus on the way. There's 11 more lurkers in production. How many lurkers has he? He's lost 23 lurkers. Oh my god, and he'll do it again. Adrenal glands, +1 melee. Quite an interesting spread of upgrades. Lurks all over the place. I can't get over how Cyril just calls them lurks. Okay. So efficient, yet so weird. But that's a lot of lurks there. The snipe lays out a couple of the lurkers. The banelings aren't nearly enough. Dark just plummeted 50 supply. Yeah, well, you kind of made him go mass ghost Dark. Don't be surprised. If you attempt the bull, you get the snipes. The EMPs, while they're in the air, I'm not sure if those are the same ghosts, but he slices up a few more, trying to get the banelings in to deal with it. Well, a bio army is still tearing through almost everything. The lurks are making it... No, stop it. Always looking the other way. Dealing with the lurkers back at home. Another lurker, another lurker, another lurker. The Liberator's helping to deal with it, but yet again, the bio army. Well, Oliveira... What are we? Are we doing this again? Come on, guys. Here we go. Oh, my. Well, the snipes come through. He's gonna take out some of the lurkers before they're even able to burrow. The Medivacs are nearly out of energy, but Dark is nearly out of units. The Hydra Den is exposed. His supply is not looking particularly healthy. The gold base has been spotted. Finally, this lurker will be done. There's no detection here. Scans it, deals with it. Another army. He's gonna have to bring the drones off the line. There's a Liberator denying another base. 45 SCVs and 5 drones dead. Well, that number is going to get a little higher here. More drones on the run. Where are they going? There's really not that much. Adrenal glands. These are only +1 melee links. Down goes the Liberator. Oh my god. Another terrible, terrible damage being dealt to both 81. Dark still has 81 drones. Where is units? It's 74 to 26 army supply. What can he build? Does he have a Hydra Den? He lost his Hydra Den. You need to Oh my god, the lurker's boxing out. What is going... This is the weirdest traffic jam I've seen since 6 hours ago when I played City Skylines. Why do people make U-turns on one-way streets? I don't... Somebody's gonna want to make a U-turn by the end of this game. What in the hell is going on? Oh my god, another ridiculous swipe. The lurkers, but you have to beat at the end of the day, how do you beat the army? A Hydra Den being rebuilt. I don't think Dark noticed. He's had 79 drones. Well, the lurkers, oh my god. They're not even in the right spot here. 4 SCVs! 4 SCVs for Oliveira. But he's still got 74 army supply. Dark just needs to deal with it. He just needs to beat the army one time. Oliveira has nothing. A Ghost Marauder drop over here. Well, he has nothing but army. The Banelings, he saw an opportunity, but the splits are good enough. Some infestors popping out. The lurkers are in the main. There's always another one. We're going into a full-on base trade. Oh my god, I can't, like, this happened the last time they played. And here we are again. Of course, the details are somewhat different, but... How many lurkers have died? 40 lurkers. How many are on the field? 5 of them. Nearly 50 lurkers in this game. How about the ghosts? Only 13. He still has 5. He's gonna try to get into the main. He's trying to, well, the EMP, what was that? I don't know. He's dodging lurker spawns with the, well, he's actually out of scans. Wait, orbitals are dying. There's still, Oliveira has no workers left. He has 0 SCVs. He can only build one. Of course, he can drop new. There are the scans. Dark? Where did he get... Ah! Where did he get these minerals? He's bringing gold minerals home. How has it come down to this? Not again. Dark played with his food, I think, so much it may have gotten away. He's long-distance mining. Oliveira knocked out pretty much every... I don't know how this... Oh! The Liberator was waiting. He cancels the hatch as he... I don't think he realized the Liberator was above it before. +2 melee attack. Nope, not the time to transfer 60 drones. No! Another lurker. There is 1 infestor. 1 infestor is left. Oliveira has 4 orbitals, most of which are landed. He's rebuilding SCVs from scratch. A scan. He didn't spot the fester. He's gambling everything. Will the lurkers... Oh, he spots him. He didn't spot the fester yet again. The infestor. It's trying. But the Liberator... Oh, is taken out by the Hydras. He's trying to outlast the scans here. He dunks on the army. He's going for it. Oliveira, some snipes. The drones could be used. He's gonna move forward. There's not that much army supply left. Oh. But there's more. G says Dark. Oh my god. Even Dark acknowledging. Oliveira holds on. Dark, honestly, it felt like he was trolling him to some extent. But Oliveira refused to tap out. He went to 0 SCVs, and he refused to surrender. Oliveira, the most tenacious Terran. And with it, he claims victory. Wow. One of the most ridiculous series. Every one of these series. Oh, Dark. The common denominator. It's a great nickname, if he didn't already have a great nickname. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again to World Team League. Make sure to check it out if you got the opportunity. For more matches from the best players. These 2 on the same team for that, so that's convenient. But hopefully I made your day a little bit better. If you got the means of motivation, Patreon, YouTube membership. Otherwise, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Hope I made your day a little bit better. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.